In this video I want to show pretty much the whole training session that is normally what I do every day. So typically I start with some kettlebell juggling, and I do it as part of the warm-up because first I want to have just something to start moving the body, and second, the kettlebell juggling involves a certain degree of skills, so I want to do it when I am still fresh as opposed to doing later in the session when I would be more tired, and so I prefer to do it at the beginning. Okay, so typically I do those three basic juggling moves, and normally actually did two. The third one is this one. Swap, swap, swap. Okay. So the next thing I do, and I still do as part of the warm-up, is working with the legs, and I'm gonna do this type of movement. 1 and 2, and I use the stick because at this point I still want to make it soft. I don't want this to be a hard exercise. So I do transfer a little bit of effort on the upper body, on the arms, to help me out, but I want to make, let's say, 80% of the work is done through the legs. The stick is pretty much there just to kind of hold the balance better, and at some point I will remove it. But at this moment I still do this as part of the warm-up, so it's not should not be a strain, should not be too much of an effort. It's just to get the body move, to get some kind of mobility also at work, and this can be done for a number of reps. And at some point you can put this down and just do it leg to leg like that. Of course it can also be done lifting up at every rep. In this case it's a little bit harder, and it's more of a muscle work as opposed to a mobility work, which is what happens if you just stay as low as possible like I am doing here. Okay, next I want to do some pull-ups, but I do a variation of the pull-up because I'm not going to use the bar straight. I'm going to actually run the pull-up on a vertical pole, as much as possible vertical, like that. And the reason is that in this way I'm going to train my grip much more, okay? Because I'm not going to hold horizontal bar, it's going to be vertical. So I'm going to do 5 reps. I'm going to grab the bar like that. Ready, go. 1, 2, 4 and 5 reps. 1 more. All right. So this is pretty cool because again it does challenge the grip much more than a regular pull-up. Now the next thing I do at this point, I continue with pull-ups, and I need just one of these. So what I'm going to do now is I train for just a second. So I'm going to train for a one-hand pull-up, but this is the training, so I'm not going to challenge directly one hand. I'm going to have the other hand helping me. So this is the way I do it. This pole is like this as support, and this one is the working arm. Now clearly this is going to help, but just a little bit, because I got much more strength here than here given the position of the pole. So 1, 2 and 3. Okay, now do the other side. 4, 1, 2 and 3. Okay. Now the next one is going to be a curl training, so the Nordic curl. So I've got some protection for the knees here and the foam over there. Then I help myself with the stick to go into the position like that. So 1 and 2, and then from here there's a number of ways to train for the hamstring. So the first movement I do, I'm gonna shift back and forth, okay? So with the help of the stick over there, I lower myself down and then I push forward, over and over, and then back, training a little like that, trying to stay as much as possible in the extended position. Of course, the point is to lower as much as possible the support from the hands and to try to actually use more and more only the legs. And once, so this is the first set of movements, and then the second one, actually I still need the pole for this one. So the next one is going to be with the weight, one hand over there, one hand here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, what is very, very important with this is the negative. So you want to have, actually, I want to have myself up with the stick, but when I lower myself, I try to rely only on the legs, and the arm is just there to guide me. But this is the purpose, this is the mindset, okay? So again, one arm stick, one arm bell, lift, and then lower, trying to minimize the support from the stick and the arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whoa. They burn quite a lot. Now, after this, without the weight, so the next one I'm gonna do lower myself and up, but instead of shifting like I did the first time, it's gonna be like pivoting on the knees, okay? So this is the position of the stick. 1, 2, 3. Lower, 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 and then up. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And again, the most important part is the negative. So help in getting up, but then trying to only use the legs when getting lower. And that's the other move. Actually, there's one more. This is very important because in this one we want to reach lower. So I will not be horizontal, I will not try to extend myself while I kind of dive down, and I get a fire on the legs doing that. It's pretty much this. So go down and then lower and lower and lower and lower. And from here I do kind of a set of reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh. Yeah, this is extremely good for hamstring. Now I'm coming back to pull-ups, one hand pull-ups. So I do 2 types of variation. One is going to be with one arm support here, and I do 3-4 reps each arm. 1, 2, underarm support. 1, 2, 3. And also in this case, it's good to work on the negative. So support for lifting, and then trying to remove the support when lowering down. The negative is very powerful to gain strength. Now after that, so I'm not going to use this, I'm going to just use 2 hands. Or better, the second hand is going to be touching the first. I'm not going to pull much with the second hand. It's just going to be support here, touching the first hand in some way. So for example, like that. 1, 2, and 3. So try to leave the hand open, the second hand here, so I'm not just pulling. It's more about holding myself in the right position. So ready like that. 1, 2, and 3. Actually, with the left, I really need to pull with the other hand as well. Next one, I'm going to train the quads, and the exercise that I prefer is this one. So I need a little bit of support, and the pulls are perfect for that. So I just need them behind me, because the way I do it is that I'm gonna lower myself back this way. So I need them just to guide me through and hold the balance. But the purpose is, after I touch, I'm gonna lift in this way. So minimum support from the pull and maximum effort from the legs. 1 and 2 and 3. And 4. And oof. I promise that the quads are going to burn. Now I'm going to stretch my lower back. There are many ways to do this. One way that I like a lot is to do one leg at a time. So one leg will be on the bench, the other one is in front like that, and then as always I use the stick as support. So I hang over the stick, I lower myself, and then I try to push back as much as possible. Stay here for a count of 30 or something like that. I can also go a little bit up and down, swing over. It's also a stretch of the higher back, by the way. If I have the arm very high, I'm also stretching the shoulder and the high back. The most important part is to insist here. So I kind of have a feeling here that everything is stretched. My back is not very flexible, so it's important that I incorporate this one every day to ensure that I keep at least the flexibility that I have, and possibly I improve it. This is a very good one because it gives stability. So it's all under control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. This is all for today. Next time I'm going to show some more exercises that are part of my routine.